All right, guys, welcome back. It's Thursday, January 27th. I'm going to say I'm really excited right now. Look at this, INDO. We finally have a top gapper again. And it just feels like it's super overdue, and I'm excited to see it. Now, you'll notice I have no trades here. I did not trade this ticker. Look at this. It starts moving around 10 o'clock, and that's exactly when I stopped looking at the charts. I wasn't really focused on the charts so much. I was kind of seeing what the overall market was doing, seeing if I wanted to adjust my swing trades a little bit, which we'll talk about right at the end of this video. But really, this is what I've been waiting for. Any sort of ticker to start moving again, going in the right direction. Lately, we've been seeing, tickers up 20%, 30%, maybe getting to 40%, and then flushing again, and then just chop and weird price action. We've not seen any front sides in a while. I feel like a few weeks, like any real good front side. So this ticker, INDO, this pops up around 10 o'clock. Well, a little bit early, you can argue, but until like 10 o'clock, it wasn't really interesting. There was no real volume here that would make you want to trade it. I mean, 10,000 shares being traded per minute after the market opened, that's pretty bad. But once we got this huge spike here around like 10:03, 10:04, that's when this ticker became interesting. Like I said, I was no longer looking at the market, and I just came back and I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God, INDO. I was writing in the Discord. I was like, this ticker looks so nice. But this is a really good sign that the market might be getting ready for small caps to get momentum again. It kind of feels like the overall market might be bottoming out a little bit. Who knows? It could keep selling off. The last few videos I've been really talking about how I'm positioning myself for that. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, swing trade and investment portfolio positioning. But in terms of day trading small caps, it's just been a total wash lately, and it's been so slow. So looking at a ticker like INDO gets me really excited, because even though I didn't trade it, it kind of is a good indicator that we might start seeing more tickers like this, because it's been a graveyard out there. And really, something popping up is an important indicator that there might be a pivot going on. So let's actually go ahead and check out the daily on this one first. Let's see, former gapper, a lot of spikes in the past, big resistance around $8, $9, and then more resistance around 12. So if we, maybe tomorrow it's going to pop up again, we'll have a big resistance here, and then maybe it'll be a blue sky setup. You never really know what's going to happen, but there has been pretty good multi-day runners lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw INDO again. It's an oil and gas company here, 7.5 million shares outstanding, 57 million market cap, perfect small cap, perfect price range between $2 and $7. I mean, this is like everything that I'm usually looking for. So it's really nice to see something like this. There was a halt that happened, no surprise, because of that low amount of shares outstanding and probably an even lower float. Let's see what their catalyst is. I'm not even really seeing a catalyst here. Let's go to Finviz quickly and see if we can get some more information out of this ticker. Indonesia company. Okay, so maybe we're just not aware of some news. 26. So it looks like this company is looking to commence drilling off 2 back-to-back new wells within 30 days and a third by mid-year. Okay, so that's a big catalyst, and that could result in multi-day action. It definitely could. Who knows what's going to happen? That was a pretty big move today, but it might be worth keeping on the scanners for sure. Also, if you notice here, the shares float is 1.57, so that's a tiny float. No wonder it got halted, and yeah, this ticker can absolutely rip because of that. I find it kind of weird that the fact that this ticker, this news came out yesterday, and it's running pretty late today. It's only running starting at 10 o'clock. So really weird. I wonder why it's running late. Again, I've no real reason for that. It doesn't really make sense. Usually a ticker like this will start moving like at 7 a.m. or maybe extended hours based on that kind of news. And then it'll consolidate around 8 o'clock. And then around 9 a.m. we'll have that second leg. That's why it's called the gap and go, because it gapped up, market opens, and then it goes. But lately, we haven't really been seeing that classic pattern, and we haven't really been seeing a lot of action pre-market in general. So kind of an unusual setup, and that's why I wasn't looking at tickers anymore after 10 o'clock. But hey, I mean, that's what we're getting, and I like that we're getting anything. So tomorrow, I'll keep my eyes open. If we start seeing a ticker start crawling to the upside, making a nice move on the front side, I'd be happy to trade it. But if we don't, I'm not going to trade it. And that's just how it's going to be until we get a little bit more consistency back in the market. But look at these pullbacks. I'm going to talk about the price action just a little bit here. And let's go back here to that real big volume came in. So I would say, if this popped up on your gap scanner, maybe like around here, then you'd be, looking at it thinking, where to trade. Obviously, in a hot market, the 9 EMA on the 1 minute is always a good entry. And yeah, this time it would have worked really well, but lately in this market that we're in, it would have been a scary trade for sure. I mean, this was a 24% move, so just like that, I mean, you could be reeling in some profits. Still doesn't have like an insane amount of volume. Usually by now, after the market opens, you want to take her like over 500,000 shares being traded per minute, but it quickly gets to that level, very, very quickly gets to that level. Here's another pullback to the 9 EMA on the 1 minute. At this point, it's 10:06, so right here we're looking at this 5-minute candle here. So we're getting a bit more of a pullback, but you could easily think, this could keep selling off to like 4.3 or so. But we have bigger support, so I think the risk reward would have been good on this trade. I think the overall market would have just psyched me out too much, knowing that we haven't seen any taker size. Somehow I probably would have been watching this one and not believed what I was seeing. I think that really would have been the thing. But look, we have that upside till about $6, so you would have risked here about 4.3, 7% or so, which is a pretty big downside. But look at that, rips up 35% in 3 candles. That's over 10% per minute. I mean, that's insane. This is the volume that we usually get on a hot market, and you could just make tons of money in just a few days of trading. But lately, it's you could just lose a ton of money every day because it's just so boring and slow. Yeah, so it keeps. Wow, look at that blow off top here, just insane. Pulls back again to the 9 EMA. I think it would have been really tough to want to trade this one because it feels so extended here, but the 5-minute just doesn't pull back. So if you're just watching the price action, you'll probably notice that there's just a lot of buyers on this one. Pulls back again here and then breaks out one more time, I believe. Let's go forward. Yeah, and then starts having a lot of resistance right around this 8.8 zone, which we mapped out on the daily. So you always want to start on, when you see a ticker flying like this, it is really good just to take those extra 10, 20 seconds to map out key resistance zones, because once you have this 8.8 zone map, you would know, okay, here we could run till 8.8, so we have that really good upside potential. I also mapped out $6 because after the IPO, this thing pulled back, bounced, broke, retested all these failed breakouts, big support zone, retest, failed breakouts. So this $6 zone is really critical as well, and that's why I would usually go ahead, take the time to map it out, because it'll give you a good idea where there might be some pivot zones. Obviously we flew through this $6 zone. I mean, we topped out here, had a quick 1-minute retest, broke it out again, had another retest, and then we continue that run to 8.8. But wow, I love the energy on this ticker. Still the volume just not like crazy high, and I kind of feel like the market's getting really bored. I mean, look, like this is just really unusual action. I mean, zero volume, and then now the volume's fading very quickly again. So I would not be trading this one anymore. Once I finally did see INDO, I think it was like somewhere in this area, and I was like, no, I'm not trading this one. Like I'm already late to the party. This was the front side. It was an amazing one. It was a 200% move, absolutely fire. Oh, this gets me so excited again for day trading small caps. I just cannot wait for the season to heat up again. I was really thinking January was going to be a pretty hot season, but once all the Fed talks and quarterly reports and Russia and Ukraine and all these issues popped up, I was like, oh man, like it just feels like the macro is taking over right now. And usually small caps, I don't care so much about the macro, but this is just one of those situations where it feels like there's more fear in the market, and there's just not a lot of people buying the dip. So yeah, this market pullback has definitely swapped over to the small caps. But yeah, this makes me excited. Let me quickly actually talk about the swing trades here, and I'll just open up my all positions account so you guys can see what I've been doing. I've been slowly preparing myself to start accumulating again these swing trades that I've pretty much dropped a lot of size on. So LMND, for example, this was a classic one that I was starting to sell onto the bounce. I bought back a little bit more here on this pullback, and then before the Fed was talking about the interest rates, I sold everything. Then we had this weird Colby shake, and then all of a sudden this thing pulls back 13%. I buy where there's a lot of support back here, so this was a it might be like kind of surprising, like, Alex, why do you think about buying here? But there's a lot of support here, so I went for a little trade here. Went ahead quickly, took some profits before the market closed because I thought we were going to keep selling off, but it looks like we're holding our highs well. So I think we might start entering a time where start accumulating again might be a good idea. SBEA, this is a SPAC, so there's nothing really to talk about. This one, it's kind of pinned at $10. Space, another ticker that I started just selling at because I want to really readjust this position, but obviously once we get a little bit lower again. So I would like to see this ticker somewhat dive below $8. It seems like this $8 zone has been quite significant. I'll put an alert here, and then I'll probably start buying back into it, because if you look at these tickers on the daily, just, oh my god, it's just, let me hide my trades for a second because it gets a little hectic. I don't even know if I can because I traded this on every account, but look at this sell-off, like an 87% sell-off, huge support. I mean, massive support. We haven't been back in these areas since that SPAC merger. This $9 zone, and then even lower is like $7 is one of those last. 6.9 is the last key support zone, so let's go ahead and map that as well. But I mean, I'm not sure how much more these tickers can sell off. Obviously, maybe we'll see that 7 again, so I want to be a little bit conservative, because that's another 15% downside, so I don't want to enter too soon. But I really do think there's a lot of support coming in now. You can kind of feel it with the overall markets and indexes. We'll look at that as well. It just doesn't feel like there's so much of a reason for the market to be selling off anymore. It kind of feels like a month ago the market was a little extended, but right now it's like kind of closer to maybe where it should be. Another 5% sell-off or so, or maybe even a 10% sell-off could definitely happen. But I just kind of feel like we're not going to get a 30% pullback or anything like that. So and there's a lot of tickers that are already oversold, like Space and pretty much a lot of tickers we're going to talk about here if you fundamentally believe in the company. So let's keep going through it. Coin was another ticker I was looking at today. Coin was actually a ticker I did a little bit of a day trade on, just because I was thinking, this is big support. I only made $11. It was a scratch trade. I sold right before the reversal. I just kind of closed out my position. I started accumulating here near the big support, and then it popped up 3%, but I closed right here because I thought we were going to get another dip and then pop. Usually I'm not trading mid or large caps, so it's fine. This was kind of like, let's see if I can get a little bit of rust off with smaller size, although right at the end I went in with 100 shares on top of my starter size, so I'm kind of getting closer to like that full size. But yeah, wow. I think we're really approaching some big support. Coin was a ticker that we were holding for quite a long time, and we were closing when this ticker broke above 300 right in this area. Let's go to all trades. Oh yeah, okay, it was discount. So we bought a little bit here, and then we started accumulating in this area. I did a readjustment here on this big red day, which was a really good readjustment, and then we sold pretty much everything right here at 322. Left a little bit of profits on the table here for sure. And now we're getting that huge sell-off again. We're at all-time lows. This is just big time support. We broke with big volume, but again, I could see us kind of start consolidating around 1.5. Like, I would give it another few days. I could see the price going down, making a triple bottom before that reversal happens. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for to really edge into the market again in terms of swing trades and investment portfolio. Clove, another position, I sold before the Jay Powell Fed talks, and it's sold off 10% ever since. Another position I would love to reaccumulate. What do we got? QS, another position that I sold some here. I didn't sell any more before the Fed talks, but I was really thinking about it. I'm ready to rebuy this one as well. Oatly, another company that I really like. Sold half my position, looking to rebuy. So it's just a lot of repositioning my portfolios right now just because of the volatility in the markets. I feel like it's a really good time for that. Ready to buy back. XL, this is just alert orders, a very small size here, but I would like to, if we break 1.8, I think I would accumulate XL a little bit more. Just because the sell-off on XL has been just absolutely insane. We've been making some really good trades. I think this is the one I lost. We basically broke this area, and I ended up cutting my loss here. But then we keep getting these really nice support zones and then selling into the pop. So kind of an ugly, like super ugly ticker in terms of long term, but it's down like 96% now. And like, if you actually look at the company, that they have some really good contracts. They're growing nicely. It's kind of insane that these companies are selling off so much. So I really think when this thing starts bottoming out, maybe makes a rounded bottom or something, you can make like 50, 100% on a company like this so quickly. So I'm just waiting for that area. But lately we just haven't seen it. So I've been, accumulating where I think there's a rounded bottom. But the second we don't get that pop, I sell. And even if we do get a pop, I sell really quickly. Because if I'm up 40, 50%, I'm taking profits on these kind of sketchier tickers. Space, another ticker that just, look at this sell-off on Space. Like 86% and then like almost 90% from the all-time highs. Let's go to the 5-minute on this one. Every pattern looks so similar. We had that initial V pop, then we sold off again. We're on a ticker like LMND. I rebought, but I didn't do that on all my tickers. And then popped up again like 10%. And then into the Jay Powell talks, we had a huge sell-off. And right now I'm just, I'm waiting, when am I going to re-enter? I really think I want to give it a little bit more time, because if you just look at the indexes, we're really coming towards some big resistance zones. This is the Dow Jones, for example. We have the NASDAQ already kind of getting rejected and making lower highs. The SPX also making lower highs. So I don't know. We would really need to gun it back to like this 4,500 area. But then again, new resistance comes in that's really, really heavy. And I'm just not super, super optimistic right now. I mean, anything could happen. Nothing really surprises me in the market, but I just feel like there could be a continuation of sell-off. Now, if let's say the SPX really does break past this huge resistance area around like 4.5, and then we have like a nice retest, I would be re-entering my swing trades because then the market's reversing for sure. But I just feel like maybe we're gonna either flag out a little bit, maybe sell off a little bit more before we move higher. So that's kind of what I'm prepping myself for a little bit. But you want to be ready for all scenarios. Let's go to the NASDAQ again. You can see that big resistance. Just like this downtrend is just so heavy right now. And also the volume, check out the volume. So when on the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, you can see volume on this one. We did have that really nice buy candle here, that hammer candle with the highest volume. So that's actually a very bullish indicator. But at the same time, I'm just super worried with this kind of death cross here in this big resistance. If we don't break this soon, there's definitely going to be another sell-off. And the Dow Jones, another really good example of this, because you could see these tops here, and then when we ran above it, and then we have those tops, the 180-day simple moving average and the 9 EMA all kind of coming together at this critical zone. So I don't know. I'm a little bit pause off. There's definitely a lot of resistance here because this was a very, very significant break. We haven't had a break like this since the COVID crash, where you can see we clearly broke the 180-day. We had that retest, and then we continued selling off. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be this aggressive as sell-off. I think we might see like something a little bit lighter, maybe make a round and bottom, and then start moving back up again. It's really hard to say. Anything could happen, and I'm really not here to try to guess the macros, but I'm just saying what's on the charts. And right now, we broke this significantly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did have a little bit of a slower recovery. Maybe a triple bottom or something like that. That's really what I'm looking for. Maybe it's going to be V-shaped recovery. We're just going to, blast through here again. But there's still going to be those intraday retests where we're going to be able to get a re-entry. So if it goes up, great. My portfolios will be safe, and I'll be able to re-enter, and we'll be able to ride the wave to the upside. But if not, great as well. I'll be able to start accumulating at lower prices with no margin. So I'll be able to sit out any sort of continued downtrend and just get better prices. So in the future, we'll have even bigger positions for our swing trades and our investments. So either way, great. I'm just excited for the small caps to heat up because that is obviously my primary income source. So that is what I'm waiting for. Anyway, guys, that's all for this trading recap video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.